I'm interested in all kinds of philosophical questions, but particularly interested in questions in ethics, social philosophy, and aesthetics. To the extent that they're animating themes in my work, one of the most important animating themes is the idea of secularization. Secularization understood as in different ways, but one as what Nietzsche described as the death of God. The idea that in the 19th century we're losing this important foundation that has guided Western culture for millennia. I didn't start off studying philosophy. I started off doing German and English literature and history and music, and these were really my first intellectual love. And then I started thinking about the theoretical questions in those disciplines. And even if issues of art and culture are at the center of my thinking, the way that philosophers think about them is perhaps the most congenial way of thinking for me. In my book, Art's Highest Calling, The Religion of Art in a Secular Age, I look to an important theme in the art making of the 19th and 20th centuries and to theorizing about art in this period. It's the ambition of art to somehow step in the face of a perceived spiritual crisis. What Nietzsche called the death of God, what Matthew Arnold called the receding sea of faith, a kind of secularization. The idea that art or culture will fill this spiritual void seems to me ultimately hopeless. But an interesting ambition and one important in the history of 19th and 20th century thought. The current book project that I'm working on takes up the theme of a home in the world in the post-Kantian tradition. Looking at this theme from Kant's third critique, the critique of the power of judgment, through the German Romantics, through Hegel, through Nietzsche, through Heidegger. And the question here is fundamentally one of how can we be reconciled to this world? Or should we be reconciled to this world? And in my view, they're a secularization of older theological questions about the problem of evil, the question of how there could be evil in a world where there's an omnipotent and benevolent God. How could these things coexist? How do they make sense? We need to understand this question against the backdrop of the rising tide of secularization in the 19th century. For me, it's wonderful to be at a university where the university takes the study of philosophy very seriously and takes it to be central to its educational mission, where all of the undergraduates are going to be studying some philosophy. To me, that pedagogical emphasis makes the sort of teaching you're doing feel all the more worthwhile. One of the most important ways that philosophy is valuable, and that's in shaping us as people, asking deep and difficult questions, reflecting on them in a rigorous way, thinking about how to live well. That's the ultimate importance of philosophical study.